For the LSAT, for me, for quite a while, like I took the LSAT back in 2017, but I rarely studied for it. And that was because, it was really hard for me to commit to the LSAT because I had other obligations. But for me now, it's balancing study with full-time job. And that's where I find the difficulty to balance both of those. But, working from home, it's easier studying, considering not traveling, especially in New York City. The subways take forever. But working from home, it's easier to study in the morning and maybe sometime at night. But it's hard to focus because I haven't studied in so long. So building that study stamina up, it's taking some time because I was shooting for August with the 4 to 6 month schedule, but it's looking like it might be October or November.
Right.
So
Sure.
that's really hard.
Yeah. So when you're having difficulty focusing on studying, what else is coming up instead?
So I have a big family at home, so it's hard to study at home considering I have a newborn child at home because my sister just had a baby. So it's hard when you have so many people at home. So I try to get in study time before everyone gets up. But it gets harder as the day progresses, sometime in the afternoon. Even when you try to focus, there's someone that comes in and you just lose focus. But I try to get in at least 2 to 3 hours a day. I shoot for 5, but it ends up being 3 hours.
Yeah, and I can definitely relate to the difficulty. I don't know if you heard for a moment, my child was crying in the background. I have a 1.5-year-old myself. And so I'm like putting myself on mute whenever the crying gets a little bit too loud. So I can certainly understand where you're coming from. Additionally, congratulations on the new addition to your family. I could imagine that, although it's difficult, it's also wonderful, but it's also difficult, but it's also wonderful. So everything is a mix. You mentioned that the afternoon becomes a bit more difficult. Maybe there's more activity, hustle and bustle going on in the house at that time. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yep. 100%.
Okay. So that being said, which other times does that leave for you where you think you could really maximize your prep?
So usually I try to get in, let's say I usually hop on, start working at 9 o'clock. So I try to get in from 7 to 9, 2 hours there. And then I usually try to get in sometime at night, after work around 5 to 7, where things are a little calmer, the baby is sleeping. And then if I don't get it from 5 to 7, I try to study at night, but it gets difficult at night to just focus on studying.
Yeah. So why is the evening more difficult than the morning?
Because you're basically like gassed out. You're mentally, it's hard when it comes to study. Like with logic games, it's hard to study at night.
Sure. I can certainly understand that. For many people, the evening, you're tired. There's more people around. The evening is more often for socializing than is 7 in the morning. So it can have a different flavor to it.
Right. So do you recommend just studying in the morning and trying to do it some at night?
Yeah, you grab the hours. You grab the hours where you can, but I'm also acknowledging that the evening hours may be more difficult, or you may not get as much out of it because, as you said, you're gassed out, you're tired,
right.
And then there are more people around who you could potentially socialize with, even if it's simply your family who's around.
Right.
Maybe they're all looking to hang out. But 7 in the morning, you didn't wake up at the crack of dawn just to hang out or watch Netflix or go on social media or whatever else, right? You woke up for a reason. You're not going to mess around.
Right.
So I have the same experience as well, by the way. So the question is, what can you do to create more productive study time? What can you do to get more time in the morning or to get more out of what you do in the morning?
So most likely it'd probably have to be like, instead of waking up, let's say waking up at 6, I would probably sleep earlier and try to wake up maybe an hour and a half earlier, just to get, instead of getting 2 hours in, try to get maybe 3.5 hours in of productive studying.
Thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already to be notified of new episodes as I release them. And feel free to reach out if you need anything at all as you move forward with your prep. I'm happy to help however I can. In the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.